Good morning, and welcome to UMBC's graduate commencement exercises. The ceremony will begin in a few minutes, and we ask that you please take your seats. First, a few notes for your safety and comfort. Please note the exits around the arena, in particular the ones nearest you. Emergency medical services are available on the concourse level behind section 101. During the ceremony, please do not leave your seats to take photographs or videos. Aisles must remain clear at all times, and guests are not allowed on the main floor. As we prepare to begin our ceremony, please silence your cell phones and other electronic devices. We ask that all guests stay until the end of the ceremony out of respect for our graduates and UMBC. Now, please turn your attention to the far end of the arena floor and stand, if you are able, for our commencement procession. And please welcome our UMBC Brass Quintet. The faculty and staff procession is led by Tulai Adlai, the 2024 Presidential Research Professor and a distinguished university professor in the Department of Computer Science and Electrical Engineering. The faculty and staff marshals are carrying batons that the UMBC Alumni Association gave to the university in honor of our 40th anniversary in 2006. The Graduate School is led by the Graduate School Marshal, Dr. Lauren Hamilton Edwards, Interim Associate Dean of the Graduate School and Associate Professor in the School of Public Policy. The procession of graduates is led by Fritzy Charney Merriweather, Students Marshal, and recipient of the 2024 Presidential Distinguished Staff Award for Exempt Staff. She is the Associate Vice President for Administration and Chief of Staff for the Division of Student Affairs. ceremony is led by the Grand Marshal, Nancy Kuzmal, President of the Faculty Senate and Associate Professor in Social Work. The Grand Marshal carries the University Mace, a symbol of presidential authority. Used only on formal academic occasions, UMBC's mace was commissioned by the Alumni Association for UMBC's 20th anniversary in 1986.
The 84th commencement exercises of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County will now be in order. Please remain standing for our national anthem, performed by Achillia Bernard. Achillia is graduating tomorrow with a degree in music performance with a concentration in voice. Originally from Jamaica, Achillia has been an active leader on campus and looks forward to continuing her journey as a performer and a creative professional. Please remain standing, if you're able, throughout the anthem.
Oh, say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we held at the twilight's last gleaming, whose by stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight, oh, the ramparts we watched were so gallantly streaming. In the rocket's red glare, the bombs bursting in gave proof through the night that our flag was still there. Oh, say does that star-spangled banner it wave o'er the land of the free, in the home of the brave.
Thank you, Achillia. That was a wonderful rendition. Everyone, please be seated. As we welcome you to UMBC, we wish to acknowledge that UMBC was established upon the land of the Piscataway and Susquehannock peoples. Over time, citizens of many more indigenous nations have come to reside in this region. We humbly offer our respect to all past, present, and future indigenous people connected to this place. Now, I am pleased to introduce the 6th president of UMBC, Dr. Valerie Shears Ashby.
Good morning. Oh, it's a great morning. We're going to try it one more time. Good morning. Good morning. There it is. What a glorious occasion. On behalf of our entire community, it is my privilege to welcome you to the 84th commencement of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. To the families and friends of our graduates, we are delighted to have you join us here for this momentous occasion to celebrate these outstanding students. I also want to welcome those graduating students, family members, and friends who are joining us online. Thank you for being a part of today's ceremony. Thank you as well to my fellow campus leaders who are with us today. On the platform are our deans of our colleges and schools, administrative leaders from across the campus, presidents of our shared governance bodies, members of the Commencement Executive Committee, and recipients of the Presidential Faculty and Staff Awards. Will you please stand? Thank you all for what you do for this community. And I'm just going to take a moment and do something not in the script. I have to acknowledge my faculty who are sitting before me this morning. They are the key to what we do here at UMBC. I'm going to ask our faculty to please stand and be acknowledged. Thank you. Thank you all. Thank you. Thank you so much. It is now my pleasure to share a short video with greetings from the 63rd Governor of Maryland, the Honorable Wes Moore.
Hey everybody, on behalf of the people of Maryland, congratulations to the class of 2025. So whether you're a new graduate or returning student, first in your family to attend college, a member of the military, or a professional earning an advanced degree, graduation is an important milestone for lifelong learning. Take all that you have learned and pledge to use it for good. You'll be rewarded for all of your hard work and success from your time here. But I also want you to know that we in Maryland will also benefit from having engaged citizens like you, because you'll build a better world for all of us. Be true to your beliefs and your values and never stop growing and learning, because together we can build a brighter future for our state, our nation, and our world for this generation and generations to come. Let's change the world for the good, and best wishes on your personal and professional success.
Thank you to Governor Moore. It is now my pleasure to share a video greeting as well from Regent Linda Gooden, Chair of the University System of Maryland Board of Regents.
Greetings. On behalf of the University System of Maryland, let me say congratulations to the graduates we honor today. I know that the path to this milestone has been long and at times difficult. It is a journey that has tested you and strengthened you, and it ultimately defines you, each of you, as individuals who understand the power of education and who are willing to invest in themselves. I congratulate you on making that investment. I also want to acknowledge your family and friends, both those who are with you today and those who are here in spirit. I know they take pride in what you have accomplished. They have shared in your sacrifice and certainly should share in your success today. The knowledge and experience that you received here, that you have earned here, are yours forever. And as you go forward, take what you've learned and pledge to use it for good. Give back to the community and the world. Build a brighter future for yourselves and others. And so once again, I offer each and every one of you a well-deserved congratulations, and I wish you all the best in the years to come.
Our thanks to Regent Gooden. We appreciate the support of the Board of Regents. Now it is my pleasure to introduce Manfred Van Dulman, UMBC's Provost and Senior Vice President of Academic Affairs. Provost Van Dulman joined UMBC in July from Kent State University in Ohio. At Kent State, he served in a variety of leadership roles, including Senior Associate Provost and Dean of the Graduate College. He holds a PhD in Family Social Science from the University of Minnesota, and his research interests include adolescent and young adult relationships and experiences. Please join me in welcoming Provost Van Dulman.
Thank you, President Shears Ashby, and good morning, class of 2025. Congratulations, you did it. Yes, we can clap for that. I'm so proud of each and every one of you. Earning your degree is a tremendous accomplishment, and your hard work, resilience, and determination have not gone unnoticed. Today, we honor more than 700 graduate students who now join the powerful ranks of more than 100,000 alumni. Alumni who are leading and serving and driving change here in Baltimore, across Maryland, and around the globe. And as I stand before you today, I am struck by the depth and diversity of the stories that brought you here. Each and every one of you have a unique journey, a personal narrative, and a meaningful connection to UMBC. And it is through these individual paths that our collective strength as a university shines. At UMBC, inclusive excellence is not just a value, it is our compass. It shapes our teaching, our research, our community partnerships, and most importantly, our people. This morning, I want to take a moment to reflect on just a few of the ways that you, the class of 2025, have embodied this principle and excelled. Today, we award nearly 50 terminal degrees with 45 PhDs and 4 Masters of Fine Arts. Nearly 700 Master of Arts, Master of Professional Studies, and Master of Public Policy and Master of Science degrees will be awarded, making the class of 2025 the second largest class in the history of the UMBC Graduate School. The largest single cohort, 204 graduates, is the Master of Professional Studies in Data Science, representing more than 28% of our master's graduates today. You all are achievers, but even more than that, you are trailblazers. You represent the strength of UMBC's academic mission and the promise of its future. The class of 2025 is a vibrant and diverse community, representing 27 nations from across 5 continents and Central America. You are a global class for a global future. And while today we celebrate your accomplishments, I want to ask you to pause and reflect on the path that brought you here. Some of you may have arrived at this moment on a straight and well-planned path. Others may have faced twists, turns, and unexpected detours. Regardless of the path, each of you have arrived. And it's not just the destination, but the journey that matters. The lessons learned, the strength discovered, the relationships formed, and the growth achieved along the way. This degree, your degree, is more than a credential. It is a reflection of who you are, what you've overcome, and who you are becoming. Over the past 10 months, I've had the privilege of meeting many UMBC alumni, remarkable individuals who are curing diseases, engineering smarter cities, shaping policy, advancing justice, and lifting up communities across the globe. And you now join their ranks. And so graduates, as you celebrate today, and I hope you do celebrate, I want to leave you with this charge. Go forwards as agents of inclusive excellence. Lead with empathy, create with courage, serve with purpose, and seek out voices different from your own. Build spaces where every single one belongs. Let the values you lived here at UMBC guide you as you shape a more just, more inclusive, and more hopeful world. You are ready. UMBC has prepared you well, and you are the future we've been waiting for. Congratulations, class of 2025, and as always, go Retrievers. Next, I am pleased to introduce Jeffrey Halverson, Interim Vice Provost and Dean of the Graduate School. Please join me in welcoming Dean Halverson.
Thank you, Dr. Van Dolman. Good morning. On behalf of the Graduate School, I want to offer a warm welcome to all of our Masters, Masters of Fine Arts, and PhD graduates, their family and friends, and our faculty and staff. Thank you. This is an incredibly special day, one that you have been anticipating for a long time. And for many of you, one that you began dreaming of since that very first day you set foot on our UMBC campus. You've arrived. What you have achieved is not easy, and it is not supposed to be, and remains one of the most revered honors of this nation, earning an advanced degree in higher education from a prestigious university. And now there is the excitement of embarking on your next journey, whether that's starting a new career, advancing in an existing career, or working on new ambitions with the achievement of your advanced degree. So let's now continue with our ceremony, and I will see you back up at this podium shortly. Thank you.
Next, I'm pleased to introduce, thank you, Dean Halverson, sorry. Next, I'd like to introduce Jessica Bergstrom, graduating today with a PhD in the Language, Literacy, and Culture program and the president of the Graduate Student Association. Please join me in welcoming Jessica.
Thank you so much. Today I want to talk to you about bravery. You took risks when you chose to pursue this graduate degree, here, now. You stumbled and struggled and faced down your fears and insecurities. That bravery is why you celebrate today, why your achievement is no small thing at all. We are here today to take joy in one another's successes, and I am so excited to hear about what each of you has achieved here at UMBC. As you know, bravery is not the opposite of fear, because you can only be brave if you are afraid, but do the right thing anyway. And I have found that it is easier to do that when you have made a decision in advance about what you are not willing to lose, about what is right or wrong for you. Once you have decided to hold on to that position, it will be harder for someone to take it from you. What I have decided I am not willing to lose is my integrity. Unquestionably, I have lost opportunities because of it. But those opportunities would not have led me to a brighter path than the one I am on now. In fact, I got here by refusing to compromise on my integrity, because it isn't always right to compromise. Take care never to accommodate yourself to what you know is wrong, because little by little that wrong will overtake you, like the proverbial frog in a pot of slowly heating water. Lose your integrity and you will lose yourself. That said, I couldn't have gotten here all by myself with just my integrity to sustain me. That required other people who also valued my integrity and also made a decision to take a risk on me, to stand with me. I have found many such people at UMBC. I'm sure you have too. These are the kinds of people the world always needs. People who do the right thing even if they are afraid. People of integrity and bravery. People who stand together. My charge to you is to continue to find those people wherever you go, and to continue to be those people yourselves. It only takes a few brave people to make good trouble and bring about good change. Thank you to everyone who has helped me and challenged me and supported me, and to everyone who has helped, challenged, and supported you. Because of you, we have achieved great things, and we will continue to be brave. Thank you.
Thank you, Jessica, for those inspiring remarks. Today, we award master's and doctoral degrees, and tomorrow, we will hold 2 undergraduate commencement ceremonies. This is a particularly special commencement season for UMBC because with this spring's ceremonies, UMBC will award its 100,000th degree. Can you imagine that? In 1970, we held commencement for UMBC's first class of undergraduate students, and we awarded 241 degrees. To celebrate this historic moment for UMBC, we wanted to pay tribute to those who were with us at the very beginning. We are fortunate to have a deeply dedicated and engaged group of alumni known as the Founding Four, representing graduates of those first 4 undergraduate classes of 1970 through 1973. I know that they are watching today, so let's give them a round of applause to thank them for starting off UMBC. To our Founding Four who are watching, you continue to inspire us. Thank you. Now, for all of the alumni who have followed this courageous Founding Four group, I would like to acknowledge you. If you are a UMBC alum anywhere in the arena, would you please stand? You are also a part of this wonderful journey from 241 to 100,000. What a profound impact UMBC has had on the state of Maryland and on the world. Each of our alumni has made a difference in some way, many as leaders and pathbreakers in the public and private sectors, in the arts, in education, in research, in service, in public service, and in their communities. And I know that the graduates who sit before me today will continue to make us as proud as those first 100,000. Congratulations to you all. Thank you for making UMBC what it is. And as we celebrate our graduates, I want to acknowledge that the world that you are graduating into is indeed filled with uncertainty. And it is a critical moment for higher education and for our nation to assert the value of education and of research and of knowledge in changing lives, advancing understanding, and promoting peace, prosperity, and well-being throughout the world. We must also assert what we at UMBC know as excellence, and that is inclusive excellence. Because what we know here is that there is no other kind. Despite the uncertainty and the challenge, I am so hopeful because I know that we will keep moving forward. And I know that every place you land will be made better by your presence. So as you know, we are here to celebrate the fact that you have completed all of the requirements for awarding a degree. That is what today is about. But let me say just a few more words about what it means. Graduates, you know what it means to you. And you heard Provost Van Dulman talk about your academic achievement and your personal growth and evolution as human beings. You may also think you know what it means to the faculty mentors and advisors who sit before me. But trust me, you only have the smallest idea. I cannot begin to overstate the significance of today's ceremony for your faculty members. The evolution of the graduate student-faculty relationship is simply extraordinary. It starts off as mentor-mentee when you are working closely in co-creation of knowledge. Probably you were learning from them more than they were learning from you at that moment. But over time, the questions and ideas become your own, and you begin to know more than they do about what you are working on. And then the relationship becomes one of collaborators, in which sometimes you are the leader. And today we have the privilege of celebrating that transformation. In many cases, your advisor is giving you the same degree they have. Think about that. They are giving you the same degree that they have. And believe me, they are more proud of you than they were when they achieved the degree themselves. Today, we experience the joy of glimpsing the future and knowing that it is in good hands. And to the families and friends who are present today, some of you who have been on this journey yourselves, you know what it means. But for many, it probably seemed quite mysterious or even strange at times. You might have wondered if these students were ever going to finish, or what exactly they were working on, and did it really matter? And here is what I want you to know. These students, our amazing UMBC graduate students, have ascended to the highest levels of academic achievement. And it is rare for a reason. This is hard work that even few ever attempt, let alone complete. And our world will be better because of their passion and because of their brilliance. They will write the books, create the art, solve the problems, develop the policies, find the cures, and help us better understand ourselves, each other, and our world. I know you are proud of them. I can feel that from up here, and I share that pride with you. So to our students, to our faculty, to those who are family members, and all of the supporters who have gathered, congratulations to each one of you. And now we can get to the part that everybody has really come to hear and see. It is my privilege to ask Provost Van Dulman to join me for the conferring of degrees.
Thank you, President Shears-Ashby. We will now move to the part of the program where we confer the PhD and master's degrees. Today, each graduate will receive a memento from the UMBC Alumni Association. Representing the Alumni Association Board of Directors is Board President, Mr. Kevin Yang. Kevin graduated with a bachelor's degrees in computer science and financial economics in 2007 and is founder of KRY Properties. And join me in thanking Kevin for his support of UMBC. Before we begin reading the names of our graduates, we want to first share this short video recognizing our graduates who are participating virtually. Please help us celebrating them by cheering.
Amina Amjad, Hassan Albanna, Musanda Chisenga, Jeffrey Sear, Hassan N. Dandridge, Naba Krishnadas, Kyle A. Davis, Renee H. Dupree, Fadare Kehinde Olakunla, Lukman Abdur Rahim, Ibn Naim Hassan, Rajat Kumar Jha, Kesai Dinakar, Clayton Kerr, Wyatt Thomas Marshall, H. Kushani Gainika Mendes, John Henry James Mountcastle, Manju Oja, Bhaskar Patidar, Gordon Quach, Carter Russell, Annette Nicole Silva Frement, Karthik Vibhuthi, Bala Subramanyam Yadlagada.
Thank you. Now, will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please rise if you're able? President Shears Ashby, I have the honor of presenting the candidates recommended by the faculty of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, the highest earned degree for which any university has the power to confer.
Graduates, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the State of Maryland given to the Board of Regents and to the Chancellor of the University System of Maryland, and by them entrusted to me, I hereby admit you to the degree of Doctor of Philosophy, which you have earned during the course of your studies at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County, in token whereof you shall be given a diploma with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Congratulations.
Thank you. Now, will the candidates for the degree of Doctor of Philosophy please proceed with their mentors to the platform?
Doctoral candidates in the College of Arts, Humanities, and Social Sciences. In the program of Gerontology, Danette R. Narain, Doctor of Philosophy in Gerontology, whose mentor is Dr. Takashi Yamashita.
Dr. Narain researched aging in Caribbean populations and examined the relationship between socioeconomic position and cancer screening among older Caribbean-born adults in the United States. She will work as a geropsychologist for people in Grenada.
Just in the program, Peter H. McIver, in the program of Language, Literacy, and Culture. Jessica B. Berstrom, Doctor of Philosophy in Language, Literacy, and Culture, whose mentor is Dr. Denise Marangola, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Ramon Goings. In the program of Human Services Psychology, Peter H. McIver, Doctor of Philosophy in Human Services Psychology, whose mentor is Dr. Sherry Waldstein.
Dr. McIver studied how habitual anxiety and blood pressure levels influenced brain-blood flow in older adults. Following an internship at Virginia, Maryland, VA, Maryland, and the University of Maryland Medical School, he will be a postdoctoral fellow providing mental health services to Baltimore's marginalized communities.
In the program of Language, Literacy, and Culture, Reverend Michael Asbury Hunt, Doctor of Philosophy in Language, Literacy, and Culture, whose mentor is Dr. Ramon Goings.
Dr. Hunt explored how UMBC McNair community members navigate pathways to graduate education through mentorship. Rooted in holistic critical mentoring, his work calls for institutions rather than students to transform, advancing equity through student-centered practices, institutional accountability, and conspiratory leadership.
Lauren Pollock, Doctor of Philosophy in Language, Literacy, and Culture, whose mentor is Dr. Brandy Wallace.
Dr. Pollock explored students' experiences with education, placement reform, and equity in community colleges. She is an associate professor at the Community College of Baltimore County, engaging in work that promotes equity and inspires meaningful, lasting change in education.
Tony Hines, Doctor of Philosophy in Language, Literacy, and Culture, whose mentor is Dr. Christine Mallinson, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Pamela Bennett.
Dr. Hines studied social connectedness among adult Black interracial adoptees, focusing on the influence of adoptive family, race, community, and shared identity groups in adulthood. He is the content director and training specialist at the Center for Adoption Support and Education.
In the program of Public Policy, Corus P.A. Davis, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy, whose mentor is Dr. Pamela Bennett.
Dr. Davis examined whether participating in undergraduate research relates to pursuing graduate education among various socioeconomic groups. As Senior Director of UMBC's Office of Academic Opportunity Programs, Corus will continue to expand access for underrepresented students through research-informed strategies.
Sunjata Jangha, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy, whose mentor is Dr. Jane Arnold Linko.
Dr. Jangha examined the effects of participation in developmental mathematics on retention and degree completion for STEM undergraduate students. As the Director of Pipeline Programs, he will continue to advise, inspire, and empower UMBC undergraduate and graduate students.
Kendra Elizabeth Lyons, Doctor of Philosophy and Public Policy, whose mentor is Dr. Elliot Lassen.
Dr. Lyons explored how sex-based discrimination at work persists despite legal protections. She analyzed victims' reporting behaviors, complaint patterns, and legal recourse. She will continue consulting as an industrial/organizational psychologist, helping organizations make fair and equitable employment decisions.
Laura Kathleen Madison, Doctor of Philosophy in Public Policy, whose mentor is Dr. Lauren Edwards, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Donald Norris.
Dr. Madison examined how organizational and human factors influence cybersecurity readiness in U.S. local governments, advancing understanding of public sector cyber governance. She aims to integrate policy, law, and cybersecurity to strengthen Maryland's cyber resilience through her work at UMBC.
Doctoral candidates in the College of Natural and Mathematical Sciences. In the program of Biological Sciences, Jessica Michelle Allison, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Hua Lu.
Dr. Allison's research on crosstalk between the circadian clock and plant innate immunity in the model plant Arabidopsis highlights the interconnectedness of different biological processes and their importance in maintaining plant health and development.
Sean Michael Brown, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Stephen J. Freeland.
Dr. Brown designed, synthesized, and analyzed the world's first peptides built from different molecular building blocks than those shared by all life on Earth. This advances frontiers from medicine to biosecurity, but is motivated primarily by humanity's search for extraterrestrial life.
Shonda Marie Campbell, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Jeff Lipes.
Dr. Campbell identified genes that underlie the age-related decline in the immune response using fruit flies. Her work identified genes that can be targeted to maintain immune function in the elderly and improve the quality of life in aging populations.
Pratima Gautam, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Ivan Errol and whose co-mentor is Dr. Kathleen Cusick.
Dr. Gautam uncovered novel molecular insights into early-stage biofilm formation on copper surfaces, laying the groundwork for anti-fouling strategies. She aspires to advance microbial research as a scientist, improving health through innovative microbiome solutions.
Michelle Judith Moyer, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Kevin Omland.
Dr. Moyer's female birdsong research was the first to compare closely related songbird species, and she was co-winner of the Biology Department's Wolf Award for Outstanding Dissertation. She will be an assistant professor of ornithology at Georgia College.
Catherine Callison Wardrop, Doctor of Philosophy in Biological Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Achuth Padmanabhan.
Dr. Wardrop's research revealed a novel role for zinc finger protein 217 in promoting several key steps of ovarian cancer metastasis and chemoresistance. She is a postdoctoral fellow at the Fred Hutchinson Cancer Center, where she studies mechanisms enabling carcinogenesis.
In the program of Molecular and Cellular Biology, Shraddha Darira, Doctor of Philosophy in Molecular and Cell Biology, whose mentor is Dr. Laurie Sutton.
Dr. Duraya studied therapeutically relevant proteins that act as cell signaling molecules to carry out physiological functions such as inflammation. She is a postdoctoral scholar in the ophthalmology department at the University of Iowa, developing gene therapies for inherited retinal diseases.
In the program of Neuroscience and Cognitive Sciences, Ashley Elizabeth Copenhaver, Doctor of Philosophy in Neuroscience and Cognitive Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Tara Legates.
Dr. Copenhaver discovered novel synaptic interactions and sex-specific mechanisms that regulate circuits within the reward system, revealing how the brain transforms experience to mediate motivated behavior. She works as an AI researcher at Natrias, applying predictive modeling across life sciences.
Lee Harkless, Doctor of Philosophy in Neuroscience and Cognitive Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Phyllis Robinson.
Through his experiments, Dr. Harkless discovered that cellular receptors use additional regulators to modify how they signal. This shifts how scientists think about drug design. He plans to use his skills in the pharmaceutical industry to enhance precision medicine.
Rebecca Ariel Glisson, Doctor of Philosophy in Neuroscience and Cognitive Sciences, whose mentor is Dr. Bernard Lohr.
Dr. Glisson studied the behavioral, neural, and hormonal bases for how a non-model species of bird learns to sing. She will undertake similar research in her postdoctoral position with Dr. Greg Ball at the University of Maryland, College Park.
In the program of Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, Winnie Sun, Doctor of Philosophy in Biochemistry and Molecular Biology, whose mentor is Dr. Aaron Green.
Dr. Sun studied the yeast protein SET4 to determine its role in attenuated stress with and without oxygen, as well as model how its dysregulation affects neurodevelopment and cancer in humans.
In the program of Chemistry, Ryan Jordan Grant, Doctor of Philosophy in Chemistry, whose mentor is Dr. Lisa Kelly.
Dr. Grant's research contributed to the utilization of fluorescent compounds for blue light activated applications like tissue welding and protein cross-linking. His expertise will be utilized at Cruz Associates Incorporated, providing support to the American military by testing and evaluating energetic materials.
In the program of Applied Mathematics, Nagma Akavan, Doctor of Philosophy in Applied Mathematics, whose mentor is Dr. Bradford E. Piercy.
Dr. Akavan developed new mathematical models to better understand the complex environment in which groups of cells migrate during early development. She will be an assistant professor at the University of Michigan, continuing her research in mathematical biology.
In the program of Atmospheric Physics, Maurice Evan Danladi Roots, Doctor of Philosophy in Atmospheric Physics, whose mentor is Dr. Bilay Dimas.
Dr. Roots improved the understanding of atmospheric chemistry and dynamics by integrating multi-instrument observations, highlighting the need for enhanced monitoring networks. He continues this work as a NASA postdoctoral fellow at the Goddard Space Flight Center.
In the program of Physics, Carson J. Evans, Doctor of Philosophy in Physics, whose mentor is Dr. Todd Pittman.
Dr. Evans researched experimental quantum memory devices with applications in quantum communications and quantum computing. He will continue his research as a scientist in the Quantum Research and Applications Group at the Naval Air Warfare Center Aircraft Division.
Doctoral candidates in the College of Engineering and Information Technology, in the program of Computer Engineering, MD Tufik Hassan Anik, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Nagme Karimi.
Dr. Anik pioneered research on how device aging affects cryptographic security and developed robust countermeasures. With 16 publications, he now advances the security of next-generation memory technologies at Micron Technology.
Arnab Neelam Mazumdar, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Mohammed Yunus, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Tanush Mosenin.
Dr. Mazumdar developed regression-based, hardware-aware architecture exploration methods to compress AI models for energy-efficient edge deployment across applications in vision, audio, and activity recognition. He is a postdoctoral scientist at Los Alamos National Laboratory, advancing multimodal AI for geophysical sensing.
In the program of computer science, Bharat Prakash, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, whose mentor is Dr. Tim Oates, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Tanush Mosanin.
Dr. Prakash aimed to improve AI agents by using hierarchical structures to simplify complex tasks by incorporating prior knowledge and human feedback to enhance learning efficiency and safety.
Sai Sri Laya Chukapali, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, whose mentor is Dr. Anupam Joshi.
Dr. Chukapali developed frameworks to enhance privacy and resilience in distributed autonomous systems by integrating user preferences and regulatory rules into access control, while ensuring secure, trustworthy operation in contested environments. She is a research scientist at IBM.
Ananta Kotal, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, whose mentor is Dr. Anupam Joshi.
Dr. Kotal's research focused on developing generative AI frameworks to create realistic synthetic data that protects privacy while remaining effective for AI applications. She is an assistant professor at the University of Texas, El Paso.
Kasra Darvish, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, whose mentor is Dr. Cynthia Matusek, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Frank Ferraro.
Dr. Darvish created multimodal AI models that understand human intentions through language and perception, moving AI towards deeper world understanding and intuitive interactions with humans. He will continue advancing intelligent systems as a senior research scientist.
Jayalakshmi Mangalagiri, Doctor of Philosophy in Computer Science, whose mentor is Dr. Arya Gangopadhyay, and whose co-mentor is Dr. David Chapman.
Dr. Mangalagiri has developed a novel approach enabling AI algorithms to synthesize high-fidelity imagery with unlimited resolution. She is an AI researcher with U.S. Bank.
In the program of Electrical Engineering, Ben Gabrielson, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Tulay Adali.
Dr. Gabrielson designed efficient machine learning algorithms for large-scale matrix and tensor factorizations and demonstrated their effectiveness for understanding brain function using neuroimaging data. He is now developing a new methodology for efficiently training deep learning models.
Hanlu Yang, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Tulay Adali.
Dr. Young researched advancing personalized medicine by identifying homogeneous subgroups from large-scale neuroimaging data. Her work aims to discover quantifiable biomarkers for psychiatric disorders, moving beyond traditional questionnaire-based methods. She will join Meta as a research scientist.
Hasibul Hassan, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Gary Carter and whose co-mentor is Dr. Govind Rao.
Dr. Hassan developed a glucose sensor platform using a novel binding protein technology, creating its first prototype. By integrating machine learning, he enhanced bioprocess monitoring with the potential to revolutionize biotechnology. He has joined Rycover Healthcare to further advance this field.
Xia Qian Liang, Doctor of Philosophy in Electrical Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Chen Yi Chang, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Peter Hu.
Dr. Liang developed new iterative random training sampling-based approaches to hyperspectral image classification with and without background, which has never been explored in the literature. She is a postdoctoral fellow at the Shock Trauma Center.
In the program of Environmental Engineering, Oyindrila Ghosh, Doctor of Philosophy in Environmental Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Upal Ghosh.
Dr. Ghosh used theoretical modeling coupled with laboratory and field experimentation to understand fundamental mechanisms of pollutant transport and advanced passive sampling of toxic pollutants. She is a postdoctoral associate at the University of Pittsburgh.
In the program of Human-Centered Computing, Aaron Lee Higgins, Doctor of Philosophy in Human-Centered Computing, whose mentor is Dr. Fode Hamidi.
Dr. Higgins' work included developing equity-based STEM programming for hundreds of youth and a Maryland state initiative that provided hundreds of residents with free 3D printed assistive technology. She will continue as a postdoctoral fellow at Carnegie Mellon University.
Lydia Stamato, Doctor of Philosophy in Human-Centered Computing, whose mentor is Dr. Fode Hamidi.
Dr. Stamato's research supports the pursuit of community-led values through engagement with science and technology, connecting people and power through access to knowledge and tools. She is a postdoctoral fellow at Berea College, where she co-designs the future of collective memory.
Damarika Priya Rajasagi, Doctor of Philosophy in Human-Centered Computing, whose mentor is Dr. Anita Kamlodi.
Dr. Rajasagi studied interactive virtual reality tools for data analysis to help people make sense of complex information by transforming the way people understand data and tackle systemic challenges. She will pursue roles involving designing technologies and engaging with complex data.
In the program of Information Systems, James Richard Clavin, Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, whose mentor is Dr. Karuna Joshi.
Dr. Clavin developed a medical data polygraph for examining healthcare claims by integrating knowledge, reasoning, and large language models. He is the Chief Technology Officer at the Hilltop Institute of UMBC.
Kulkarni Chaya Ramesh, Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, whose mentor is Dr. Vandana P. Janeja.
Dr. Ramesh developed a novel framework using multi-contextual learning in spatiotemporal neighborhoods to analyze Earth observation data, revealing insights about Greenland ice melt dynamics and brightness temperature variance in digital twin simulations. She will join Towson University's Computer and Information Sciences Department.
MD Mahmudur Rahman, Doctor of Philosophy in Information Systems, whose mentor is Dr. Sanjay Purushotham.
Dr. Rahman's research advances fairness and interpretability in machine learning and federated learning with significant applications in survival analysis. He is an applied scientist at Amazon developing AI solutions to enhance the global seller experience.
In the program of Mechanical Engineering, Juliana Mariel Posey, Doctor of Philosophy in Mechanical Engineering, whose mentor is Dr. Mark Zupan and whose co-mentor is Dr. Javad Molla.
Along with the Onasbrook University of Applied Sciences, Dr. Posey conducted the first characterization of the microstructure property-performance relationships and hybrid weld joints between additively and conventionally manufactured precipitation-hardened stainless steel alloy. She will pursue a career as a mechanical engineer. Now, Dr. Bergstrom, I'm pleased to announce that your card has been found. Could you please rise so we can recognize your achievement? Dr. Bergstrom, you devised oral history informed by indigenous research methodologies to explore how an intertribal coalition of asset managers successfully pressured a professional sports team to abandon their racist name and mascot. She is a semifinalist for a Fulbright Scholar Award. Congratulations, Jessica. Folks, let's give it up for our amazing PhD, new doctorates.
Will the candidates for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Public Policy, Master of Science, and Master of Professional Studies please rise if you are able?
Fantastic.
President Shears Ashby, I have the honor of presenting the candidates recommended by the faculty of the University of Maryland, Baltimore County for the degrees of Master of Arts, Master of Public Policy, Master of Science, and Master of Professional Studies.
Graduates, upon the recommendation of the faculty and by the authority of the state of Maryland given to the Board of Regents and to the Chancellor of the University System of Maryland, and by them entrusted to me, I hereby admit you to the degree for which you have earned during the course of your studies at the University of Maryland, Baltimore County. In token whereof you shall be given a diploma with all of the honors, privileges, and responsibilities thereunto pertaining. Congratulations.
Thank you. Will the candidates for master's degrees now proceed to the platform, and please remain seated until your row is escorted to the stage.
McCoy Lewis Chance, Master of Fine Arts in Intermedia and Digital Arts, whose mentor is Professor Timothy Nohe. Alma Kamis, Master of Fine Arts in Intermedia and Digital Arts, whose mentor is Professor Lisa Morin, and whose co-mentor is Dr. Kathy Odell. Ghazal Mojtahedi, Master of Fine Arts in Intermedia and Digital Arts, whose mentor is Professor Mark Alice Durant.
Ghazal Motahidi's multimedia thesis, Hanging Gardens and Echo of Home, inspired by the myth of Babylon's gardens, explores migration and memory through video, sound, and installation, reflecting on displacement, longing, belonging, and the emotional fragments that immigrants carry as home.
Alexandra Marie Scheiber, Master of Fine Arts in Intermedia and Digital Arts, whose mentor is Professor Corey Francis Parks.
Alexei Scheiber's research processes the daily psychological tolls of living in an age of mass extinction and seeks out climate solutions through her multidisciplinary practice, including animation, papermaking, painting, installation, and poetry. And now I'd like to get caught up with two folks. Alam Kami's multimedia installations feature magic carpets, cloves, and steel sculptures that tell stories of resistance. She is part of an emerging generation of Palestinian-American artists whom curators seek when questioning the relevancy of art during catastrophic moments of cultural and political survival. And getting caught up with McCoy Chance, who explores the afterlife of discarded technology through analog video sculpture, performance, and research. His work, which has been exhibited in Colombia, Venezuela, Ukraine, India, Spain, and New York, challenges planned obsolescence and advocates for repair as resistance.
Monique Wilson. Forrest Ingram Johnson. Vinod S. Akunuri. Christopher M. Edwards. Carly Smith. Hannah Marion Roth. Mariam Aslam. Camila Morales. Caleb James Jacobson. Dimitri M. Garner. Zachary Raymond Starr. Gloria Adoma Seshi. Jose J. Del Toro Dominguez. Jason Michael Michelli. Gabriela Santos Babilonia. Brenda Helen Passos do Nascimento. Naomi Prero. Ricardo Andres Delgado. Janoth Bra. Varshini Venkatesh. Akanksha Sangapavu. Jerome Le Chasseur. Detrell Connor. Nicholas John Simeone. Kari Moy. Clifton Darby. Curtis Deng. Alexandria Howe, Jacqueline Elizabeth Lee, Emma Sophia Lawrence, Asia Tiana Miller, Arian J. Nyanjo, Alexandria Quinones Sandaline, Colleen Temsa, Elizabeth Ashley Wash, Bailey Evelyn Kakasik, Logan Desiree Logan, Maliha Tasmia Noshin, Dinesh Ruven Kumara Ekanayaka, Husam Fatiin, Rabia Asif, Joshua Anthony Devon Richards, Amanda Vieira dos Santos, Matthew Thotupurathu Varghese II, Devjyoti Tripathi, Nikita Parajuli, Emily Elizabeth Verketic, Ashlyn Wright, Jessica Kristen Baniak, Rita Marie Hurst, Ayla Hernitz, Pragya Singh, Shamila Ijaz, Meghana Bayagari, Janice Boa Chang, Saifani Raju Brahmanda Peri, Uday Kiran Reddy Nimala, Pavan Kalian Shirma Pola, Manasvini Ramagiri, Parag Sureshra Shinde, Sri Harsha Bharadwaj Kolanupake, Diya Jigesh Patel, Naipunya Sri Poike Mitun, Iyowunari Inyisa George, Clarice Tuyizabe, Shireen Ganta, Sasangika Rashmini Aderage, Heli Piyush Kumar Patel, Jaliana Maria Sanchez, Jaden Aliyah Walker, Halia Fala, Cameron Smith, Akshay Kumar, Vishal Gode Sakari, Siddhartha Gunam, Chloe Farrell, Rodrigo Yepes Lopez, Shadab Hafiz Chaudhuri, Van Marino, Margaret Therese P. Shao, Prabhakar Yasaswi Venuthurupali, Ramesh Reddy Changal, Mahesh Reddy Changal, Isabella Carmen Molatori, Saksham Kumar Sharma, Sai Sri Viravenkata Abhignya Ramineni, Pavan Sanjana Shiraguri, Venkata Yaswanth Kanduri, Dayakar Reddy Kadasani, Teya Konakala, Payodi Mandloi, Marina Lini Singh, Omkar Kulkarni, Dristi Kafle, Sukhbir Singh Sardar, Sri Kaustubha Manogna Lakadasu, Maitri Hemant Mistry, Varun Magotra, Aditya Anand, Jagabathina Lakshmi Vivek, Satvik Reddy Masku, Srinivas Badage, Ashish Athimamula, Pravalika Papasani, Ashish Gupta Konagal, Venkuta Krishna Vamsi Sundarapu, Gopi Chandanentu, Jay Pon, Neil Rakeshbhai Patel, Miracle Agomishore Mode, Christian Ejadelova Ogbefun, Joshua L. Jones, Taylor Douglas Montgomery, Sam Mulinga Mutambuki, Abhishek Santo Jayakumar, Moshud A. Popula, Nicole Takam Kechiozo, Jainam Prakrut Kumar Basra, Ozodi Kenechukwu Kennedy, Abdul Jalili Abdul Rahim, Giuseppe Indelicato, Bhavya Prathe Bandi, Lasya Varanganti, Mike Jerry, Sai Sri Varondoma Venkata, Lucky Bandawi, Ishmael Ibrahim, Sai Sumant Bomineni, Rahul Reddy Mudupula Vemula, Madapati Venkata Akarsh, Ronald William Sauter Jr., Zachary Irvin, Abir Rahman Samad, Tyler Mason Cash, Sairam Boka, Anushreya Patnaik, Neil Jing Balima, Ashley L. Frew, Shadab S. Huda, Blythe E. S. Wells, Tuba Betul Aksoy, Akbar Mirza Salim Beg, Manas Kampali, Tejas Ramlal Walki, Mohammed Munibuddin, Pratik Kalwadi, Bhaskar Patidar, Karthik Suburaj, Humera Sultana, Varun Kundinya Kotar, Durga Prasad Palla, Manoj Kumar Reddy Gumireddy, Gautami Reddy Venuturla, Asish Varma Odaraju, Vivek Harsha Vardhan Tuma, Naga Punith Nalapetar Rajesh, Sai Sri Siva Malaswari Mamadi, Banu Prakash Sharma, Vivek Singh, Shakira Gibadamosi, Siri Chandana Atluri, Shravika Chala, Rakesh Yegrla, Anurima Munukuntla, Tarun Chaudhary Pati, Petroni Dion Nkede, Raunakul Islam, Shraddha Balaji Sai Kumar, Thandiwe Cynthia Banda, Alyssa Marie Minnick, Vijaya Vitala Gowda G, Angela Patnaik, Palikila Gopinath Reddy, Anu K. Dixit, Gaurav Deep Mahadik, Sahana Rajkumar, Yash Ralapalli, Yash Yogesh Khatri, Janek Kayambo, Ajay Raja Kovai Thanghavalu, Naga Venkata Anjaneya Siva Ram Meke, Shreyas Mahesh Pillai, Austin Gerard Niduri, Sai Venkata Sandiluya Adusumali, Rakmini Varalakshmi Narla, Vedala Suhas, Ramcharan Sriramakavacham, Tarun Rayalu Mahesha, Bharath Shani Prabhakaran, Shireen Feno Kumaresan, Syed Mohammed Mohsin Zaidi, Kaushik Bonu, Lalith Joy Castellino, Sri Venkat Golamudi, Hari Deepak Manchiravula, Tamizuddin Awase Mohammed, Rashmi Sudhakar Shekadi, Kunjan Dinesh Dand, Sampath Kumar Pininti, KVS Sriramakrishna, Revichandra Mulapudi, Deepak Kumar Reddy Pedapalli, Niraj Mudalapuram, Patlola Sainath Reddy, Rahul Naik Banath, Siddiqui Mohammed Faiz Uddin, Rian Ali Mir, Sai Saurabh Ganti, Pranay Kotari, Prasad Pramod Ahirekar, Tanmay Chandrakant Gangawani, Keshav Rajkumar Mundra, Nikita Ramesh Rao Kawale, Neha Kumari, Siddhi Shashank Kanse, Yashav Dixit, Abhishek Sehajpal, Shivam Yadav, Digvijay Singh, Komal Rajesh Gajare, Laukik Udpikar, Ishan Umesh Verma, Pratik Vijay Kumar Cholkhani, Gautam Pali, Shiva Raghava Rayalu Kunsha, Nimi Lakshmi Jakampudi, Bigyan Bhattachan, Amina Heyman El Ashri, Maria Emma Lopez Delgado, Isabella Carolina Lopez, Ahmad Adams, Yachi Patel, Gargi Nandkumar Hanvilkar, Kirthana Ravichandran, Indu Ravali Akula, Hemanth Chaluri, Amudhasurabi Aravindan, Lavanya Nilakandan, Ashrifunisa Sheikh, Divija Yandapali, Shivangi Seme Mantri, Michael Garty, Hima Bindu Bagam, Pravina Chirumamindla, Veena Gopi Reddy, Precious Adaniyi, Sri Vaishnavi Reddy Banapuram, Bandana Gedi Parthi, Shriya Reddy Kuridla, Ali Bowens, Ziyad Ahmed, Syriac Kurian, Snaha Joyce Gunty, Harshavardhan Samudrala, Yogesh Lakaraju, Sai Kiran Kondaju, Abhirup Manikonda, Shreya Sunkari, Gotami Bankuru, Tausif Ali Shaikh, Julia Elise Colton, Scott Harrison Wiedmeyer, Devayani Ganesh Gajil, Rudraja Vansutre, Tejashri Betgar, Bala Krishna Reddy Chinna Chinnanagari, Sai Kiran Buddha, Hitakshi Harish Tanna, Kai Xiong Lee, Hans Jacob Larson Nesheim, Laura Hare Nirschel, Darcy L. Adams, Michael Berardi II, Mariam Najafi, Rachel Garrett, Alice Normando, Amber Tate, Robert Paul Potter, Lindsay Gabbard, Amira Naja Cooper, Haram Park, Martin J. Lilly II, Desiree Calise, Gabriella Julietta Spanard, Mariah Healy, Caitlin Grace Carpenito, Annette Fung Lee, Kayla Marie Solly, Kenera Trini Goodman, Bilza Qureshi, Ivana Marie Frazier Amingia, Betty Gladys Malka Hartado, Mathapalo Elizabeth Molis, Akshya Kaur Matharu, Jocelyn Giselle Ochoa Garcia, Jordan M. Bayer, Aaron Blankenship, Frank Joseph Milliram, Kitri Elizabeth Post, Anya St. Louis,
Gurpreet Kaur Saluja,
Dana Panchenko, Grace Sue Virginia Reeb, Lena Alejandra Mora Oviedo, Avonda Grace Van Gordon, Theodore John Epstein, Jennifer Marie Giolitti, Amanda Rochelle Bunchkovsky, Sharon A. Francois, Craig William Nash Drohan, Carlos Chahondo Amezia, Danny Nelson, Kumar Shivam Singh, Somia Pednekar, Rutvik Deshmukh, Kunal Subhash Rewadi, Chaitanya Prasankumar Shetty, Sanika Bishnoi, Sahithi Kadiyala, Sindhu Chintala, Samir Amjad Khan, Bryce Tyree Person, Srihitha Reddy Muthiala, Nisha Subedi, Mohammed Bangura, Corey Redmond, Naga Ruthvika Penumetsa, Harshith Babu Martha, Sai Sri Harsha Kumbam, Sandeep Vunamatla, Jaswanth Ram Nagabirava, Beneath Petnakota, Vinay Krishna Kumar, Rasbi Binny, Preet Paresh Kumar Patel, Kush Patel, Aswin Kumar Janakiraman, Vineeth Chaitanya Adapa, Shiva Prakash Reddy Gopanpali, Kancharana Kishan Kumar, Anitha Chunduri, Shamala Makireddy, Somita Chaudhary, Chitra Venkataramani, Courtney Hammond Burkett, Priyanka Rani, Afrin Unisa Sayer, Srivali Kantipudi, Dasavanth Reddy Tharam Reddy, Muhammad Sheros Raza, Pranahith Babu Yara, Aminur Rahman Khan, Saivikas Amaraneni, Rohit Sankar Srinivas Gadi, Sravani Linga, Ananya Smarani, Atibha Narasu Velala, Parisa Eslami, Akash Vijay Bai Sojitra, Zahid Hassan Tushar, Ganesh Yalavarthi, Sathwik Reddy Ganganagari, Aniketh Gaud Kanti, Catherine Review, Trupti, Racharla Bhairava Prasad, Arjun Gandla, Siri Shrestha Reddy Badam, Danush Kandagatla, Sabi Fahim, Arinze Ebukuonye, Amanuel M. Gemechu, Pooja Bavisetti, Madhav Reddy Betha, Sindura Reddy Chala, Chandrasekhar Katipalli, Sumesri Jesti, Saivarun Kota, Alekia Tentu, Adarsh Rao Akula, Gorlashri Aiswarya, Venkata Sai Swarup Gangal, Ishita Reddy and Reddy, Rini Chesna Anand, Hima Roshini Gompa, Dikshitha Bogathi, Snehal Sunil Chaudhary, Divya Dodla, Naga Satya Saya Naran Kandragula, Baswanth Domathoti, Siva Bhaskar Reddy Gonapati, Lahari Bandaru, Venkata Sai Sumantaketi, Sunil Kumar Medara, Anurag Kunchi, Sai Shrija Alepu, Monica Poredi, Sravya Chunduri, Radhika Chimala, Chiranjeevi Deepak Kumar Vankayala, Appia Philip Kwaki, Ashley S. McConnell, Akshay S. Jayakumar, Stanley Lewis, Tirth Apurva Patel, Dia Patel, Iran Reta Kese, Demeke Kebedanurgi, Lokesh Reddy Cooper Reddy, Sai Ahil Sadula, Palakurthi Dedipia, Suryateja Avaru, Vaishnavi Radish Nair, Monika Atmakuri, Sridhar Reddy Maran, Sahasra Kamatan, Roop Chandrika Malela, Lalithia Kaluri, Kesari Nandan Malapalli, Ajay Kumar Reddy Kethareddy, Kalakonda Lokesh Sethi, Karthik Pudi, Saiteja Gunamuni, Vamsi Kasukurthi, Koshal Vanam, Vamshi Konapuram, Satwik Reddy Allah, Singhi Reddy Satvik Reddy, Sujith Reddy Sithagari, Mohana Hemant Kundarthi, Avish Manikya, Rohith Raj Thala, Kaushik Manjunatha, Esther Priyadarshini, Ayushi Bujadi, Chandrikarani Vaidya, Yash Manoj Campbell, Meghana Putiga, Ramakanth Madira, Hemant Akinapalli, Shiva Kumar Gaud Mucharla, Yeshwant Rayankula, Amrita Chandrasekhar, Shalini Mopuri, Tumu Balasai Santoshi, Sai Manvitha Nadale, Rayavarapu Sampath Kumar, Snehith Reddy Jagari, Nishanth Reddy Hanmanthuridi Gari, Ananth Mohan Ananthula, Thalapaneni Yeshwant Kumar, Yeshwant Kumar Konala, Chaitanya Guram, Janani M. Senthil Kumar, Revanth Kumar Chakuri, Shamukha Surya Sariteja Dodipatla, Bhargav Reddy Kumatha, Pujita Imani, Indukuri Leela Krishna Surya Teja, Koram Rupesh, Kanaga Priya Vasudevaraj, Sujay Krishna Divala, Hansika Karnati, Yeswanth Reddy Charedi, Vishal Balaji Kotrike, Venkata Sai Rishita Silam, Nagasri Sai Kiran An, Palak, Vishvesh Jitendra Kulkarni, Kushal Pasumarti, Sumitra Abhijit Joshi, Pedtari Aditya Nankumar, Abe Kochu Kotukulam Rajan, Harji Harpreet Kaur, Tania Badaria, Chandana Kandukuri, Manvitha Reddy Kandimala, Sumasri Chituri, Sirisha Gathpa, Sreya Sri Siloju, Deepika Bangari, Yugala Kakarla, Gautam Karaka, Hemant Gorapali, Karthik Reddy Hariyapureddy, Ankush Reddy Marugu, Sai Kumar Gandam, Kaushik Chopaketla, Venkat Akil Matha, Pranay Kumar Jidigari, Tejaswini Nala, Safia Khalid Shah, Mehul Satish Lad, Agransh Srivastava, Rami Reddy Kancherla, Teja Sanaka, Rishi Dasari, Kyle Robert Simon, Brian Gasper Tamu, Bavia Volchi, A.D. Auxiliadora Mora Urbina, Swetha Manchukonda, Vamsi Kola, Shritaja Madashetty, Vijaya Rajana, Kalyan Chakravarti Gade, Itika Gumadi, Swarna Lekya Yarlagada, Navya Sri Manikonda, Harika Palaparthi, Vishwas Bodhu, Lokesh Gupta Mamidi, Vivek Surabatla, Harshitha Ande, Surividya Doda, Sri Sai Sushma Thatavarthi, Tejaswi Kanam Reddy, Shirisha Biyala, Alicia Thankam Varghese, Anaga Sai Sri Meenakshi Jamalamadaka, Yagna Gayathri Kalam, Sai Rukhmini Pasile, Sindhu Chava, Somya Garidi, Amrutha Tharigopula, Sai Ritvya Gamalapati, Suhas Bachawala, Divya Aiti Pamula, Jyotir Nayani Gurala, Katrina Michelle Jones, Wissam Fadlel Mola, Niambi Bird Lewis Clue, Sonal Matharu, Dana Panchenko,
Congratulations. Congratulations to each one of you. Congratulations. Now, please join me in welcoming the UMBC Jubilee and Gospel Singers to lead us in the singing of our alma mater. The choir will be conducted by Janice Jackson, Director of the Jubilee Singers and Gospel Choirs. After the alma mater, we ask that you remain at your seats. Our program will be concluded by our Grand Marshal and then the platform party, and students will recess. Please wait to leave until the platform party has left the floor. Please stand as you are able for the singing of our alma mater. The words can be found on the back of your program. I now invite the Grand Marshal, Nancy Kuzmal, to conclude our ceremony.
Will everyone kindly remain standing until the platform party has recessed? Family and friends are asked to meet the graduates outside of the arena. On behalf of the UMBC community, I wish you congratulations, everyone.